Ohanaeze replies Adamu Garba after saying that UNN should be renamed to Queen Elizabeth University. Ohanaeze has fired back at the former presidential aspirant Adamu Garba, who said on social media some hours ago that the government should rename the University of Nigeria Nsukka to the name of Queen Elizabeth II, who just died. However, the Secretary General of the Igbo group, Mazi Okechukwu Isiguzoro, was reacting to this. According to the Daily Post, he made it known that the Southeast had already dedicated a hospital to the late Queen of England. The Federal Medical Center, Umuahia, was already named after the late British monarch. The hospital was known as the Queen Elizabeth Medical Center, Umuahia. However, there is nothing like that in the north. No building in the north was named after the late Queen Elizabeth. The northerners should do that instead of tampering with the University of Nigeria. The Nigerian government should compensate for the role that Queen Elizabeth played in how the country became independent by renaming the government house in Abuja, also known as Aso Rock, after Queen Elizabeth, because that would be the best way to compensate her for her contribution to Nigeria. Okay, I think obviously understanding the individual that we're talking about and that has made this comment, this is Adamu Garba, okay? No disrespect intended, but the fact he's not known as one who necessarily says things that are within reason at times. And of course, that is subjective, really. But what it is it's a bit of a stretch. I mean, come on. I understand that, I understand that, yes, you want to honor the late monarch, but really it's very extra, to be honest. And again, if in the southeast or in Nsukka, if there is actually in Umuahia, if there's a hospital named after her, that is already enough. I don't even think, why should the university be named? And it's so funny, why would he, of all universities in the country, he chose the University of Nigeria Nsukka, which one would question and say, why that university of all universities in the country? Why not a university in the north? And of course, this would obviously trigger a lot of those who would have, I guess, tribalist like mindsets to want to question and say, well, what of universities in the north? What of universities, in other parts of the country? Why did you specifically pick on a university in the southeast? Which, again, if we do go down that road, will become an unproductive conversation, really, what it is. Again, I think looking at this goes beyond thinking, what did Adamu Garba intend to say? Like, why did you choose that university? And I think, of course, it is very much triggering, especially when the university you're talking about in that same state, the Queen has, in honor of the Queen, a hospital has been dedicated in her name. So what more do you want? Why? And again, what also makes it, sort of extreme is the fact that he also gives a name of what the university should be called. And if I can go back, he says, I guess the name is Queen Elizabeth II's University of Nigeria Nsukka. It's such a long name anyways, but really it's the intention. And of course, Ohanaeze replying, Ohanaeze of course is like the social group or social cultural group of the south, of the southeast and the Igbos in general, just to speak on issues like this. And it's like, okay, fine, they reply. So what was the reasoning, but then again, looking at the person that Adamu Garba is, he is one to go online to induce reactions, to incite a lot of comments. And that's why you also have to take into context the individual talking about here. He's come out with a lot of crazy ideas. And I guess, those individuals that for some reason are just not as liked on social media. So I guess his role that he really plays is to trigger conversations, really, which doesn't necessarily have to be a negative thing. But in this case, when consistently, your commentary and your views are seen to be subjectively and, conventionally out of reason, then you would get judged on the things you will possibly say in the future. And I think this is why he's not taken as seriously And of course, trust the Nigerian youth, especially on Twitter, to come for him. But personally, I don't think he's given enough detail to justify why the university itself. Again, if there's more context, okay, fine. The university, it was founded by, I guess, one British commissioner, or it has, whatever it is, there just has to be reasoning for it. It's like, why are you giving advice to an individual that has not asked you for advice? Like, what is the point? It pretty much does not make sense. The way I see it, and it would not be surprising to see that others believe that it doesn't make sense too, and they are right in their own opinion. So, yeah. On another note, having this conversation also goes down to obviously colonialism and, I guess, past or former colonies trying to, because really, what would be the point of? Yes, obviously, the honor to the Queen. Yes, of course, she did help in independence, and no one's going to take that away. But it's like, what more do you want to do? It's like, okay, fine. When it comes to the homage and the honor of the Queen, you should probably leave it to England to do the most. For them to that's their queen, or that was their queen. And so if it's for them to decide and say, this is what we're going to do, it's giving very much overexcited. And of course, considering the clash with, obviously, given that we're in a political or election season, you see that the clash between the North and the South, because of anything, is literally it would trigger such conversations. So really, you can say it's about Igbo presidency, you can say, fine, the North is literally arguing, or even the fact that, again, understanding who Adamu Garba is trying to get a reaction from Igbos. And of course, Ohanaeze did reply. But really, given the times, again, maybe he's just doing this to get a reaction from Ohanaeze to reply. And of course, if they do go wrong, then it could be seen as, Igbo presidency, is this the culture of, is this the culture of your potential president? So yeah, that's pretty much what you can say. Again, it's Adamu Garba. I don't think he has a lot of respect or relevance to the things that he says. I think this is one you'd say, okay, fine, you're on social media, you try to get reactions of people, and you'd find that if you go on all these platforms, people are always arguing. Yes, it is good to trigger conversations that are necessary, but any cause or any excuse for a distraction is not always needed. Put what you think in the comment section below, and do not forget to like and subscribe.